Reunion. Hello, y'all. I was selling crack on a private jet up in the hell and back. But no confusion, this a reunion. Hello, y'all. Welcome back. Get murder here. He counting money. He said, "Can man, the hell with rap. I'm only here to shit on niggas and piss on bitches. Welcome, ass. I bought jewelry and bikes, nigga. Black Benzes and white Vigors. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more chandeliers and light fixtures. Nah. I don't like niggas, what's wrong with me? I'm a hype nigga, but this 44 turn to Michael Jordan. I look and say, take flight, nigga.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and Missouri, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog app. Use code MACECAM or STAT to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits with your first deposit and a free pick. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mace and Cam, and today we are joined with our analyst Maurice Clarett.
I like that intro, Stat.
See?
What up, man?
Energy.
Stat, what do you have on, Stat? Oh my goodness.
The new Titletown.
Hey.
You wearing blue too. We planned this. You didn't tell them?
You coming back home, Stat. I like that for you. Cam should be in Florida too. I like this for us. Pause. Welcome home, killer. You got a little bit of
Sad, man. Sad, man. I ain't feeding into it. I'm not even gonna feed into none of this. I ain't feeding into Stat. I'm not feeding into Mo talking about they made a three-peat when the women won. Listen, I'm not feeding into none of it, man. Talking about Connecticut had a three-peat. Nah. Y'all got it, man.
Stat, that color look good on you. For real.
We twinning.
And your hair is done right,
Right is crazy.
It is. No, it's not that it don't normally be done right, but now you feeling like you're back home. You're looking like you've been in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
welcome home.
Travis got to act different.
Yeah, Florida world.
It's okay to change it up here and here. You got to. So that's what I did. Yeah.
Mo,
can't wait for your father to see this.
Oh, he's mad. He's mad about this. He's mad. He's mad, but we'll get into that.
Can't wait for your father to see this.
We will get into that. He is upset. Okay.
Is your dad in the house watching?
Let's do this. He's not in the house. He's not in the house here, but we had to have our chat. We always do.
Oh yeah. This ain't looking good.
Business was not handled. So let's talk about it. Round 1 of the NFL draft is now over. I would go in order, y'all, but we got to talk about Shedeur. He did not get drafted in the first round. Maurice, what happened?
And I don't know what happened. I think just like everybody else, everybody wanted Shedeur to, go in the first round. Obviously, you've seen his father and all his friends and family at their house in Texas. And it looked like that they were prepared for a celebration. And just as a fan, man, I wanted to see him have that moment. And, whatever the moment was going to be, I wanted him to have it, just because you've worked so hard and you've had the entire buildup of the draft and, you wanted to get your name called. And throughout all of the bad publicity that he's received over the last week, I wanted him to have his moment. But it didn't happen, and my mind immediately went somewhere else. And it had more to do with mentality once something doesn't go your way. And it's all going to be on him, how he handles just slipping in the first round. He's going into the NFL ranks now without his dad facilitating what was his high school career, then his collegiate career. And now he's I don't want to say embarrassed because that's the wrong word, but you're in a situation where you're dealing with circumstances that that aren't favorable to you. You know, I don't want to say are not favorable to you, but something that you've never really navigated before, where you have to go in front of the world and you're embarrassed and you wish something else worked out for you. But it comes down to just his mentality and his mindset right now. And I hope that, you know, when he goes to bed at night and the friends go home and they come back tomorrow to support him, I hope that he can lay his head on the pillow and say, fuck everybody. You know what I'm saying? And wherever I go, whatever team takes me, man, I'm just going to show myself, not show everybody else, show myself how great I am and have my moment in NFL. So much success and luck to him. I hope he gets picked up on the second day, in the second round, I mean, and hopefully, you know, I was mad at Mike Tomlin because Mike Tomlin was supposed to take him at 21, but, I just hope everything works out and hope the Sanders family, just keep him in good spirits throughout this time right now.
That really what took place was that they made it their business to try to make a point to us as black people. I hate to say that, but that's what it felt like to me. It felt like that, all this that, Deion was sharing that he's going to decide where his son goes and all of that. I think it really just boiled down to people getting together and saying, you know what, if you're going to decide where he goes, we're not going to put ourselves in that melee. And they got together and made some different choices because clearly he belonged in that first round. All of us know that. So I don't know how else to look at that. Congratulations to everybody else that went where they went. But it seemed like a person tried to make a point to him. And I know that from growing up and being a celebrity, and then you have a child, people trying to make their point with your child. And that's crazy. That's how I feel about it personally. Because I think everybody goes somewhere different if Shedeur gets picked where he was supposed to get picked.
Yeah, I like both of you guys, what both of you guys said. I mean, I watched a bunch of shit leading up to this draft for the last 3 weeks. And every week, his number was dropping. It was going from 3 to then the Saints might get him at number 9. Then it might be number 21 with Pittsburgh. Then it went to 29 and the Commanders might make it. Every day, his stock been dropping. And yesterday, before the draft actually happened, I was listening to a lot of football experts, people who played football, former general managers, a lot of different people. And then it was a lot of different takes. It was a lot of people with the take how I feel what Mase just said, that, it's his father's personality, his father trying to dictate things, saying you won't do this, you won't do that, et cetera, et cetera. And what Mase just said, some people may be feeling like that. But then you have other players, former NFL players saying, yo, listen, Shedeur is probably the second best player in this, second best quarterback in this draft, but I wouldn't pick him high in another draft when C.J. Stroud was in the draft, or this person in the draft, or that person in the draft, and they were sitting there saying that he was good, but he ain't the best thing since sliced bread. So it's a real difference of opinion. And this wasn't white people. This was black NFL players and former black GMs. So I wasn't blaming it on the race card either. It was one of them situations where they were like, he's good, but, y'all gassing it a little bit. That's what they were basically trying to say. Where you had white analysts and white former players saying, nah, y'all bugging. The kid is nice. He's supposed to be doing X, Y, Z. So I just think that it's a lot that comes with it. They brought up another point, that when Eli Manning was getting drafted.
What?
Eli's father, Archie Manning, and who's Peyton's father as well, they made it clear that Eli was not going to play on the West Coast. They said, it don't matter what you do, he's not going to play over there. So they manipulated their way of making sure he played on the East Coast, which he ended up playing on the East Coast. Now, is the Archie family more royalty than the Sanders family? Or do they got the complexion for the connection? All these different scenarios could play in, and we won't know. It won't ever be said. But we've seen this play be made before when it came to somebody like Eli Manning. Now you got situations where I'm happy Shedeur didn't actually go to the draft, because when you're a star of his caliber and you don't go early, they sit there and they just look at you. The camera keeps going on you, keep going on you. Even they was going to his, party that they had in the house or whatever, to get together they had in the house, they kept flashing to that. So they actually showed the 2005 draft when Alex Smith went first, and they kept the camera on Aaron Rodgers the whole time. Aaron Rodgers slipped. He fell. But the camera was on him. Same thing with Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel kept falling. And the camera would be on you to where it gets embarrassing, because you're supposed to go higher. So I'm happy he didn't go. And they probably knew that it would be a play like this. This is why they didn't go. You see Travis Hunter was there. Niggas who knew, they went, Genty went. Of course, Cam Ward went. But I don't know exactly what it is. So I'm not going to sit here and play the race card, because, not just the race card. To me, the kid is all world. He's supposed to be in the first round. But I heard a lot of different scenarios from a lot of different people who used to play in former GMs. Me personally, I think he should have been the first round. Me personally.
Yeah. Go ahead, Maurice.
No, but what you just said and what Mase said and what everybody was talking about, like, I've been in this position before where you have all these variables, all these distractions, and just all this noise around you, right? But at the end of the day, he still has to wake up and still go out there and perform. And that's probably what my take was most about. Like, it doesn't matter with all this shit going on, first round, second round, good team, bad team. Like, his mentality and his mindset, regardless of what it is, that nigga still gonna have to get his ass up and say, you know what? Fuck it, I'm still going out here to pursue it, because you don't want to be the butt of a joke, or you don't want to get caught up into it was my father, I should have got caught by this team, or I should have got picked here, or all this other shit. And I'm just saying that, like, I'm hoping, I know Dion, that's your pops, you know what I'm saying? And he's a hell of a nigga, and all the stuff that he's built out in Chicago, not Chicago, all the stuff that he's built out in Colorado, and just, I think he has enough as a support group. But it just made me think that in the midst of all this stuff that's going on, his mind, and his mentality is going to have to be like, fuck it, it is what it is. Like, no pun intended, but it is what it is. Wherever the fuck you go, that's what it is. It's niggas who ain't going to get picked. You're going to happen to be where you land, and just deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And he's been placed in situations in high school and in college with his father, but now when you're birthed at the highest level, or at the highest level of your football career, all that stuff comes off, you embarrassed, and now it's just you. And this is like entering manhood and entering life with all of the training wheel, so to speak. And that's not nothing bad to say about him, but like, it's that mentality, like, fuck it, nigga, it is what it is. I got picked here, fuck it, let's go to work. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to make, I don't know if I articulated it when I said it earlier, but I wanted to make sure I said that.
Yeah. I want to add real quick to Cam's point. You were like naming people who kind of fell. Same thing happened to Lamar Jackson. People also brought up Brock Purdy being chosen last overall. The problem that I think I have with it, which is why I'm wearing this Jaguars jersey today, is regardless of what you think, how you think he performs, point blank, period, he should have been the second or third quarterback pick, period. The Steelers literally do not have a quarterback. We have Mason Rudolph. We got rid of Russ. We got rid of Justin Fields. Aaron Rodgers is still a free agent. That was the pick to make, in my opinion. And I don't want to take anything away from Derek Harmon. Shout out to him. He's a defensive lineman. He's going to have a great career. I heard that he was having some family issues, but still went to the draft and made sure that his family was okay after. Super happy for him and don't want to take that away from him. But I just feel like for all these teams, especially Steelers, that's just not a pick that you let go. So Steelers Nation is real pissed right now because it doesn't make sense. We're sitting here waiting for, somebody to throw the ball. We don't even got that.
Yeah, and I want to say something real quick because Mo said you mad at Mike Tomlin. We got to stop using Mike Tomlin as the scapegoat because he's a recognizable face. The GM is Omar Khan.
Yes.
And be mad at anybody, be mad at Omar. We can't keep throwing Mike under the bus because he's the coach and that's the face we know. He's not making the ultimate decision. Do we have an opinion? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he do, but Omar Khan is the GM. We can't blame Mike Tomlin for everything, man.
We had Omar.
Omar Khan. We throwing this on him for the Steelers.
Yeah, because
it's at least five teams. It's at least 5 teams that can't rectify why they didn't pick Shedeur. It's like at least 5 teams that you look at the Giants, they should have picked them. You looked at even when it comes to the Raiders, it's people that know they needed a quarterback. Just like I know you're saying this about even when it comes to who you just named. When it came to the Steelers. The Steelers have no reason not to get a quarterback. They just gave up their best quarterback.
And Mason
Let
Rudolph.
yeah, and they let Russ Wilson go where he's going. They don't have a quarterback. So how do you have something like that right in front of your face, pause, and don't even pull a trigger on this? This is crazy. There's no way. What you gonna say? You just wanted them to come back the next day? You wanted them to be there next day? You just using them to bring more hype to the draft? Nah, you're in Wisconsin. Nobody want to be in Wisconsin for 4 days. Nah, man, it's just crazy. I'm not buying it,
Yeah,
and I don't care who said it.
definitely.
As older African Americans, niggas be hating and niggas be having grudges against niggas from back in the days, and this was the perfect day to show it. That's how I felt.
But what you no what you saying and what Cam was saying is basically the same thing. Where you have some people who treating Dion like he LeVar Ball. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not making those comparisons, but the idea is in the same neighborhood of the parent who's guiding the child. You end up trying to pit or make reason on why you're not picking somebody because of the parent, when actually the parent is just advising. But again, I don't want to make it into this, but I go back 3, 4, 5 episodes ago when I was talking about sometimes you're just not used to Black people being in charge or guiding stuff a certain way. And so when you see it, it comes off a certain way. Like if the narrative for so long has been Black people are absent and Black fathers don't exist and all this other shit, and you finally see somebody guiding and molding and shaping and being in power, that starts to look different with you. And there's some people who just say, hey man, I don't want to deal with this shit. And I don't want to say that that's the thing, but there's some people who are making those assumptions.
Yeah. Okay, so last thing real quick about Shedeur before we move on. So kind of like you guys were saying, how his draft stocks just started falling weeks before the draft. So basically there was a quote from an NFL assistant, and this is just one of many. He said, Shedeur is the worst formal interview I've ever been in my life. He's so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. He has horrible body language. He blames teammates. But the biggest thing is he's not that good. What do you guys kind of think of the narratives that started being brought upon him right before draft day? Do you guys truly feel like that had an impact? Do you see it as just hating? What's your take on those comments, Maurice, first?
Well, the first thing I say is I don't like when people talk about unnamed sources or a person doesn't have the courage to say, hey, this is me and this is what I'm saying about you. Because you tend to be a little bit more slanderous when you want to hide your name. And you just tend to talk a little crazier when you don't have to reveal yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say that, and that's just with anybody and anything. That's one. But two is just not necessary. You know what I mean? But I think this goes back to why people feel that this becomes a personal attack, be it to the father or be it to the family. And there are some people who probably seen what was going on in Colorado and seen all the celebrities it brought out and all of the fame and all of the adulation. And people do have old malice and old hate in their hearts. And so I'm pretty sure whoever this person is, like, if they can't get at you, they'll get at somebody next to you just to stop the wave that you're creating. You know what I mean? And this may have been that. So that's just my take on that.
Yeah, when it comes to stuff like this, is never like coincidental. You don't get to a week before and somebody tell you you're the worst interview that they ever had before. For someone to even say that, mean like they kind of just held that, because you never heard this all the years that he was in Colorado. You didn't hear this all the years he was in Jackson State. I'm quite sure if he had NIL deals, he was interviewed before. He's never been, entitled before. And I think this is just, when people get to deal with your child without you present, they're trying to make a point. I bet you if you ask Dion, he know who said that. I know we're getting on the phone and we're talking. But if you ask Dion personally, he can think of a few people that said this. And when people say, oh, he's not that good. all of a sudden he's not that good. Mid-season, he could have been one of the Heismans. Then, they had to pull that card to say who they're going to put their vote for the Heisman. And they went with Travis Hunter. But before they singled out Travis Hunter, he was definitely in the Heisman race. So how is he not that good all of a sudden? That's just crazy. That's weird. And it's over 5 teams. I said 5 before, but it's over 5 teams that could have picked that guy and had a good season with him playing.
Yeah, I'm on what Mo said, man. If niggas ain't saying who they are, I don't want to hear it. Think about this, right? Homeboy didn't have nothing good to say, or whoever this is, man, woman, or child. They said he's the worst interview ever. He feels entitled. And then they went into how he's not a good football player. Everything bad? He not a good football player. He don't know how to talk. Come on, everything can be bad. Let's say you don't think he's a good football player. He gave you a bad interview too. Look, man, niggas be having ulterior motives. This sound like a nigga who ain't like him before he met him. And then they be talking crazy to you when they meet you and say what they want to say. I'm going to give you an example real quick. It's a DJ in L.A. His name is Felly Fell. He's like the #1 DJ back in, I don't know if he still is or whatever. He was like, a Funk Master Flex in New York, but for L.A. I was going to do an interview with him. My first time I'm ever in L.A. at the radio station, anything. Soon as I walk in the interview, he says, so I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Good to be here. He said, yeah, what's up? You new rappers ain't got no money. Let's play Big Bank, take Little Bank. And I'm like, I'm thinking he joking. I'm thinking this might be part of this show. I don't know. I'm like, nah, I don't want to play that, man. It's all good. He said, nah, y'all niggas from y'all new rappers be acting like y'all got money this time. Let's play Big Bank, Little Bank. So I'm like, the Big Bank, that means whoever got more money on them take the second person money who don't got more? He said, yeah. I said, all right, I'm just thinking this part of the show. Because I wasn't going to give him my money if he had more money than me. So I don't even know why the fuck we playing this game. But okay, whatever. More of the story, he pulled out like $700. I had like $5,000 in my pocket. So I said, I don't want your money. He's like, nah, take it, man. Take it, man. It's so good. Take your money. And I'm like, really? All right, I'll take the money. Cool. And he went on to give me a shitty interview. And I'm like, yo, I don't even know what this was all about. So fast forward like a year later, I'm not getting no spins in LA. This is pre-internet, so you depend on the DJ in them cities to play your record. So I'm like, I'm not getting no spins in LA. My songs is buzzing all over the country, everywhere but LA. So he had to come to Def Jam one day, and I seen him walking through the hallway, and I kind of pressed the nigga like, yo, hold on, man, what's up, man? You ain't gonna act like shit ain't clicking. What's the problem? And he like, nah, it ain't nothing. So I'm like, I don't want to over-exaggerate, but you wasn't going to leave without having a conversation with me and my nigga Zeke. And Kaiser, too. Kaiser, remember this. Kaiser, who was the radio guy at Def Jam, went on to be the president in Atlantic. Shout out to my guy, Kaiser. Little cheeseburger on the gram. That's my guy. But he was there. And more of the story is, I'm like, yo, what's up with you? Why, yo, you played with me when I was in L.A. Now you're not spinning my record. What's the problem? So eventually he said, now, I don't like the way you be talking to Donna. Donna is a girl who worked at Rockefeller. I think that was her name, who runs our radio, and I may not have the best relationship with her, but she works in my company. So the truth came out that he don't like the way I've been talking to his girl because, I'm not considering his girl. I'm just thinking of her as an employee. And now he's telling me he ain't spinning my records because me and her got into an argument a year ago. And now you're taking it out on me. I didn't even know I was his girl or none of that, but then I got the information I needed. More of the story is I wasn't getting no spins in LA because me and his girl got into an argument about some music at one particular time. And I had to pay the price not to get spun in LA, my record, which was #1 record in the country everywhere else. But he didn't play it. But these are the grudges people hold against you. I had a similar situation like that at Detroit radio. Dude give me a shitty interview, come to find out, he talking about one day, I was sitting in first class, and his girl was sitting in first class next to me. He actually traded seats with me, but he was in coach. And I'm like, no, if you had another first class ticket, I would have traded with you, but I'm not going. No disrespect nobody in coach, but I'm like, I paid for, nah. And then I didn't remember this, and he gave me a shitty interview in Detroit when I left. The people be holding grudges about shit they mad about that they shouldn't be mad about. And that's what this dude sounds like. And it's even worse that he won't even give up the motherfucking name that he is, whoever the person is. That's more important to me I don't even jack with the nigga saying if you're not gonna say who you are.
Yeah, all
that's
good points.
crazy. That's really
Yeah,
crazy.
murder felly.
That's
Yeah.
exactly how niggas be. But I thought Philly Phil was a cool nigga, man. He always played my records. I guess I didn't make it to his girlfriend.
I yo, me, I ain't never jack. I ain't never get no spins at LA, murder. You know, you bad boy. You know, they gonna spin your shit. No Dipset, no camera, no nothing was getting spun on 106 in LA, my nigga. It was bad, man.
Yeah, that's
I don't fuck
crazy.
with the nigga now because of that.
That's
I
crazy
ain't seen
because
him in years. It ain't like my fault. I'm about to say I ain't seen him in years. I ain't got no. I'm grown. I don't even do music for a living, like unless I want to. But come on, bro. You know niggas play these games, bro. You playing with a nigga career.
yeah,
My
that's
bad. I didn't mean to
crazy.
cut you off. Go ahead.
That's crazy because I went out to LA and Felly was the main one breaking all my records. So I guess I stayed away from his girl. Cause
Yeah,
Felly
that
loved
was the
the
best.
kid. I gotta call Felly. Felly, you hating on Killer?
Yeah, he'll tell you. And if he don't tell you, and if he tell you I'm lying, get us on the three-way. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to get us on the three-way. Ask Kaiser. Everybody know Kaiser. Kaiser was right there. Ask Kaiser.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, man. But you know that's a big market at that time. LA is a very important market, man. It wasn't no internet to get your shit off. You had to depend on that shit.
Yeah, you can go platinum or gold in just LA alone. So
Yeah, and
that's
he
a
was the
major.
main nigga. Yeah, and he was the main nigga that controlled that. Him and
Yeah.
the program director Damien from who used to be the program director.
Wow.
Yeah, Fel don't fuck with me.
Real quick, kind of to your point, Kim, you said you're playing with somebody's career. That's exactly what's happening. And that's why it's like, this is not no small thing. It's not no, let me just make this comment real quick. Like you're literally affecting where he goes, where he stays, his money. And I don't like that. I don't like how this can be that much control over that just because you felt some type of way about whatever happened between you or whatever you saw happening in his college career. Because it can never be that deep to really frustrate you like that. But hey, people behave.
Stat. This goes back to the age-old comment your grandmother used to tell you back in the day. Watch the people you act crazy with on your way up. Cause
Yeah.
you'll meet them on your way down, you know. And this is one of those. Not that he's on his way down, but this is
Right.
somebody that you know that took something the wrong way, whether you meant to or not. You sometimes you don't even know why people are mad at you. People
Right.
just be hating you, and you don't even know it. You don't even know them. They just
Right.
heard something. Mase did this. Mase did that, and who knows? A person like, man, I'm not helping him. And I'm like, what
Right.
has this guy got against me? I've never even been over there.
No, but I mean, we act like we're avoiding, but well, we're not avoiding, but people just hate what was going on in Colorado. People hate Deion's path. People hate that he went out there and caught a whole wave. People hate that he signed his contract. People hate that he got his one son following him around with a camera. People hate that he didn't go through the traditional coaching path. People hate that he got his son. People hate that he took Travis Hunter from somewhere else. People hate that he influenced Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick, and all these other dudes to get into coaching. People hate it, bro. You know what I mean? And that's the reality of it. Deion won't get into that conversation, but I'm pretty sure after hours, if we was out there kicking it on the ranch and he was just, shooting the bobo, you know what I'm saying? He'd be like, yeah, like that's what they hate. And this is a prime example. Cam just gave one to Felly Fail. People hold on to that. And so if you got a dude who didn't, for lack of better terms, he's been out here and he's been in the coaching industry and he had to go be a GA. And that's the first step that you take to get in the game. And then you go from there and you grabbing coffee and making donuts and all this other stuff. People hate if you circumvent that whole process. You know what I'm saying? And then you end up having a bunch of success and then it hurt. I can't hear you.
Oh yeah, you skipped the line. That's what they call
You
it.
skipped the line.
Skip
That's
the
that's
line.
essentially Yeah, and I know we don't like. I don't want to make it a race conversation. I'm not about to make it about that, but I'm also not about to avoid what I've seen over the internet over the past few years and why people hate it. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants to be celebrated, and then they like, who is this dude to come in here with all this personality and all this pizzazz, and then do everything? And you remember all of the comments when Colorado started losing and the projections of the season of what Dion wouldn't do, and they always try to make or marginalize his fame, and that's what it is. And so they like, to me, what it feels like we're watching, it's like you're watching somebody trying to pit the son versus the father and say, hey, it was because of your father that this didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? But then I also, like, I was jogging on the treadmill earlier and I said, man, this is part of the game. You know, so this is part of, like, celebrity has two sides. Like, the good side is just, hey man, you super successful, you got a whole lot of attention, you make a whole lot of money from it, but proportionately of equal value, you have the hate. And so this is just describing all the hate that comes along with it. And that's why I was saying to Shedeur, the only way you balance is to say, fuck both sides. You just got to focus and say, hey, just do what you do well, and you'll have the last laugh in the long run. That's what I was saying.
Mo, this is good. This is good. Pause. That last statement you said is exactly dead on. This is an attempt to plant a seed to put Dion and Shedeur against each other. Because if once this happened, people get in his ear, you're supposed to be first round, right? You know this ain't because of you, right? You know this is because of your dad. It's the same thing happened with LeVar Ball and Lonzo Ball, because they know the branding that they were going to make together. They was already selling sneakers for $300. But then somebody get with them and like, you know what? Your dad is a problem. Send them in a different direction. And then it kind of like changed the trajectory of what Alonzo Ball really could have been. And I hate that. I
Yeah,
rebuke it. In the name of Jesus, I rebuke it. Nah, y'all not doing that to
you're not
Dion
doing it.
and Shedeur. Nah, we not having that. Because Shedeur is too promising. I know people say he got things to work on. Shedeur is no less than any other superstar quarterback that came through the league. He's better than Brady was when Brady first came in the league. There's a lot of people that he was better than when they first came in the league. We're not talking about 6 championships later, but I'm saying actually leaving college, cliques on the field at 19, 20 years old. He's better than a lot of quarterbacks at that time.
Okay, so now Cam Ward, shout out Miami, was selected first overall by the Titans, which wasn't a surprise, but the second quarterback to be selected in the draft was Jaxson Dart. So the Giants traded up with the Texans for the 25th pick. However, Giants head coach made it clear on draft night that Russell Wilson will still be their starter. Maurice, does this pick make sense to you?
Yeah, and I'm not going to make this a Shedeur conversation. I think the New York Giants did what we're talking about. They didn't want the theatrics, the hoopla, the pressure from if things aren't working out with Russell Wilson. They may not have wanted people talking about Dion becoming the coach and coaching his son and so on and so forth. And so I think that they took the safe route. And I think that they say, hey, Russell Wilson is going to be our quarterback for this year. We'll let the younger guy from Ole Miss come in here and get reps and groom himself to be a professional. So they just picked the safe route. Would I have loved for this Shedeur to go to New York? Yes. To see him in that market with who he is. But I think that the New York Giants just steered clear of all of that, what could have possibly came from it.
I think they were scared of the pick, honestly. I think they was really scared of Shedeur and what could possibly happen off the field. And when you think of it as a businessman, because he's already too smooth, pause, right? So he already got this swag. And in New York, that a lot of young kids would have liked him. He could have brought a lot to the city from an entrepreneur place, from motivation, inspiration, even from little kids. A lot of young kids may have even started playing more football than they play in New York. with him being in that city. But also you got to think about the hate. He's still cool, so he goes to probably go out. You know, his gangs in New York. It's just a lot of stuff that they probably just thought about and was like, nah. Not that he's in any gang. He's definitely not in any gangs. But they think about all of that stuff. That's the only thing I could think about when it comes to New York. But all these other places, nah, they could have picked Shedeur.
The Giants, look, let's be straight up. This is what's going on with the Giants, right? The Giants, everybody's on a 1-year deal. I'm talking about the coach, the GM, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. Everybody's on a 1-year deal. And I'm not saying that they all signed for 1 year. I'm talking about if shit don't go right this year, the coach is getting fired, the GM is getting fired. The GM, who is that nigga that Jaden Daniels. The GM is it's on film that the nigga's son, the nigga asked his son last draft, yo, who you think I should pick? His son like, yo, you need to get the Jaden Daniels nigga, B. This is what his son, it's on tape. You should go Jaden Daniels. He laughing at his son. And all right, cool, get Jaden Daniels. I don't even know how that tape got out. I wouldn't have let this shit get out personally if I'm the father. Why would I let that tape get out? I don't know if the son put it out, whoever. But the point is, if your son know more than you know, and then Jaden Daniels goes on to have the great year that he had, and I don't know who the fuck the Giants picked last year, but it wasn't motherfucking Jaden Daniels, and you go see what he does. He's on the fucking clock. The GM is on the clock. You lose Saquon Barkley. You give fucking Daniel Jones all that money. He's not even there anymore. Everybody's on the clock. So you have to put that into scenario before you make these picks. You don't pick Shedeur first thing when you got the third pick, and then you go get this guy from Ole Miss. The reason they're doing that is because this. If the Giants go 0-2, 0-3, these press conferences is going to be like, you think you should put Shedeur in? I mean, Russell Wilson ain't living up to par, man, and we know Jameis Winston might throw 700 touchdowns. You think you might put Shedeur in? If the Giants are blowing somebody out, you think you should put Shedeur in? You think you should put Shedeur in? Then don't go on a 4 or 5 game losing streak. Do you think that you possibly could lose your job and Deion Sanders come in here? That's going to be every week, week after week after week after week if you don't win. And then you have to think about this. You're in the division with who? The world champions? The Washington Commanders? Then on top of that, as much as I don't like the Cowboys, I put the Cowboys ahead of you. You're the worst in the division. And now you're going to have to deal with, you think you should put Shedeur in? Hey, I mean, niggas talking about Deion may come to them. You're going to have to deal with it, and you know you're not going to be good. Skip past all that. Let me try and coach and be a GM and try and save my job. That's what this was about. And this is my opinion why they didn't pick Shedeur at all. My personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and everything you're saying is correct. I mean, not that you need my validation, but that's very much so correct. And another thing, it's the biggest market for news. So not just people asking a question, but they got to think about the headlines. This will be in every paper every day, every time. And then one of the biggest broadcasters of the Breakfast Club and different places like that will be zoomed in on a player like Shedeur. Also every morning saying, what's going on with the Giants? Do you think they're ever going to play Shedeur? So this will echo all through the culture. This will echo through places that they would not want to be answering these questions. Right now, they got to only answer it on ESPN or, certain shows like that. But if this was to happen, they would have to answer that all day.
Okay, and then the Jaguars traded up in the draft, moving from the number 5 pick to the number 2 pick to select Travis Hunter. The trade was with the Cleveland Browns. Maurice, are you shocked by this, and do you think that he's a good fit for the Jags?
Yeah, I was shocked that Cleveland didn't stay there and take him. That was a surprise to everybody who I know in Ohio. But I'm happy that they, end up getting the 5th pick and getting Mason Graham. But I was even happier when I heard the the general manager for the Jaguars. He was very vocal and said, "Hey, man, we're going to play this dude on both sides of the ball. He can contribute on both sides." And Travis was real vocal about that. And so it would make me feel good if I got drafted by somebody and the things that I desired to do the most, they were supportive of them. And they was like, "Hey, man, we're going to facilitate you and make sure that whatever it is that you feel that you can do to contribute to our team, because, the Jaguars need all of the help that they can get." And so to go out there and to have the support of your GM and for him to say, "Hey, we're going to use you on both sides of the ball," it's only going to add energy to Travis. It's only going to add motivation. And I know he's heard his own fair share of people doubting him and saying what he could and couldn't do. So if anybody hear me, I'm definitely a Colorado Travis Shedeur fan, just from everything that these dudes represent. And the reason I keep on talking about them a whole lot is because most times when people represent something bigger, there's a lot of people who come and hate it and they tear it down before you get a chance to learn from it. And there's a lot to learn from Deion, Shedeur, and Travis. And I'm just happy that Travis will get a chance to evolve his career, and there'll be young dudes who will learn from him, get inspired by him, and maybe they'll do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm really ecstatic for him, not just because he had the crib. You know what I'm saying? He's in Florida, so I'm happy for him. He get to now be in title town. Know what it's like to come from Jacksonville. I know Killer don't want to hear this, but all roads lead home. All roads lead home. And when it come to Travis, this is great because, like you said, Mo, he gets to play on both sides of the field. If he was to go to Cleveland, he wouldn't be able to do that. We know that for sure, And to get with a type of team, like you said, that believes in him, but also a team that needs everything that you have. They need you to play well. You're trying to be great, and they need you to be great. And with him being there and them having Trevor Lawrence, I think is a beautiful thing, because Trevor Lawrence will be able to get him the ball. Now, if he was in Cleveland, who knows? Who knows exactly who's going to be the quarterback, who's going to throw him the ball, if he'll get the ball. It's just too much turmoil. And when you're this kind of talent, you need to be at a place that really needs you, and they're clearly trying to get better. And I think all of that was perfect for him. Whoever bust this move to get him at Jacksonville, they deserve flowers, because you kind of really saved the first 3 or 4 years of his career by making this trade. Because if he went to Cleveland, it would have been a bad first 2 years, and before they got a quarterback and some personnel in there that could really work with him. And I'm happy for him, happy for his girlfriend. I know sometimes we make jokes and stuff like that, but I'm happy she could be able to land in Jacksonville. Better beach, better, food and everything. I never been to Cleveland, so I can't really say, but it just feels better, Florida.
Cool for him to play in the snow though. Shit is crazy. Y'all don't stand on no business up here. None of y'all niggas stand on no business up here. 1 minute they can't play in the snow. Next thing, congratulations to his girlfriend, so she on a better beach. Word. Shit, wow. Shit, wow, gang. It's all good. It's all good, bro. It's all good. It's all good, bro. It's my goal. It's my goal,
if you
bro.
can stay in the blizzard, you can go in the snow.
Yo, some niggas got a snowmobile. It be like that. Y'all was talking about if you're in the blizzard, you get fly. All the shit you were saying yesterday, you and Stat. If you got a snowmobile, I got a couple snowmobiles. Niggas crucified niggas. Now I'm happy because she could get a better beach. That's what you said, nigga. yo, nigga didn't say you gave Travis props, but you happy she could get a better beach. It's crazy, man. Yes, yo. Wow. There's nothing consistent up here. Yo, Nick, nothing's consistent on this show whatsoever, man.
Not
Stat, you leave me alone with a Jacksonville Jaguar jersey on. I don't hear nothing you gotta say whatsoever I don't hear nothing you have to say the whole show, personally. I don't want to hear nothing. When you had the Baltimore jersey on, you didn't mean it. Now, obviously, whatever. I just say that there's no consistency besides me on this show. This was yesterday, Nick. Yo, Mo, you wasn't here yesterday. This wasn't even like last week. This was yesterday. You play in the snow, you never know. Yeah, everybody want to play in the snow till you're in the blizzard. Now niggas they got a better beach. Oh man. Anyway.
Let me say one thing. You never came across an artist where you had to do things for them to make good records, but it wasn't something you should be doing. That's what we're doing in Jacksonville. We just, if that's gonna make them play better, get the bunny to a better beach.
Listen, I don't have a problem. Y'all was the one disrespecting it yesterday, bro. That's all I'm saying. I didn't say the stuff that y'all was saying. I didn't say anything. I asked Stat if she playing the snow. She couldn't even say yes or no. She didn't want to admit it. Like, she just said, I plead the fifth. Like, everybody was disrespecting the snow. Now the snow get the better beach. That's all I'm saying. You told Shannon Sharpe this wouldn't have happened if he had this was a black girl named Tanya from the projects. This is what you told a nigga yesterday, bro. You said this yesterday, man.
Killer, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. That is over here. Stat is over here wearing her hair like Storm. She's looking for the snow. I'm on your side about this.
What I'm saying is this, Murder. I don't have a side. I'm just saying, I'm repeating what y'all said. I'm not on nobody's side. Only people side I'm on is on this show. I'm not on nobody's side. I don't care about playing in the snow, not playing in the snow. Yesterday was no snow. Today is snow. That's all I'm saying. I don't have a side, and I don't have a dog in the race. But all I was going to say is this: that the question was I surprised? I was very surprised, to be totally honest with you. But then when they asked the nigga Travis, they said, "You surprised?" He said, "Not really. I spoke to niggas. I kind of knew this." He ain't said I knew it was going to happen. He's like, "I spoke to Jacksonville, so I kind of expected this." So I'm like, niggas be knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas don't know everything. It's inside calls and shit going on. Because he definitely say he wasn't surprised, but I think Mase made a great take. Look, Cleveland might have been like, yo, because there's been a lot of people saying you're not going to play both sides of the football. He's very persistent and insists that he has to play football on both sides of the ball. And Cleveland like, niggas ain't going to come up here and diminish it. We trying to get shit together now. And then he's going to tell us what he going to do. I don't know this, but I can just imagine. So Jacksonville like, we'll let you play on both sides of the ball. But Mase made a great point. You don't know what's going to happen if you go to Cleveland, man. And he made it better. And you like you say, you don't know who's quarterbacking, but at least you know you got Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence has some pretty decent seasons. Nothing great yet. He got the check. But he may be coming into his later in his career. Because I loved Trevor Lawrence when he was in Clemson. That was my nigga. Yeah. He was super duper good. He had a couple good seasons here, but he stays injury prone a lot too. Not to the point where he's not going to come back next season. But I do like this situation better than Cleveland for Travis.
Yeah. And then with somebody like Travis, he can get the ball off pause faster. So he ain't got to get hurt as much.
Yeah. Real quick, just was gonna say, this girl is not the snow. She's black and Mexican, first of all. Second of all, the Jaguars have a lot to look forward to because they have the new coach. I know y'all seen the clip when he was like, Duval. He ain't say it right. They have a lot to work with. And in addition to Trevor Lawrence, like, yes, he's healthier, but they have Travis Etienne Jr. Like, they have a lot of good pieces there. So I'm just excited, Jack. The Jaguars is a good place.
Let me ask you something, Stat, real quick.
Yes.
If she walked in a place that said whites only, could she stay?
If she walked into a place that said whites only, I don't know.
She got the complexion to stay. If she walked into a place that said whites only, she could stay.
Cam don't like to lose. Killer, we're not playing in the snow.
Ah, yo, this nigga.
Not even in the snow. What is he talking about? Ain't no snow in Mexico. Ain't no snow in Mexico, killer.
Oh shit!
Yo,
Oh
yo,
man!
Nick, this is
I
what I've been going through. 40 years of my life. This nigga can't be wrong. Now it's snowing in Mexico. I'm glad y'all got to see it, you know?
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh man!
It's snowing in
Oh
Mexico,
shit!
Mo. Mo, it's
All right,
snowing
man.
in Mexico.
I thought she was white. She actually looked white. I thought she was white.
You act
No, that's
white.
the one thing he kept saying. He was like,
Oh
I'm
shit!
white. And she gets
Okay.
him a Rolex for draft night. They good. They can live
Oh,
their happy life in Jacksonville. Shout out to them. Like I said, they excited, so I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
The Jaguars definitely made the smartest decision, in my opinion, this entire draft by trading up and getting him. Great piece for them.
Keep
Okay,
out the hood, Stat. Keep out the hood.
they gonna go where they want to go. I can't
You know,
vouch for that.
Jacksonville love them little Mexican girls.
I promise you, they're good.
All right.
They don't want no
I'm
other
doing
problems,
the
no other
work.
drama. Good. Okay. Last thing before we go to break. So, got to talk about the Travis Hunter story. So, his father was given permission to attend this draft. His father was serving probation related to gun and drug charges. So, he couldn't attend the Heisman Trophy presentation, but he got this chance. So, Maurice, how'd you feel about Travis getting to have this moment with his father at the draft?
Yeah, so it's a once in a lifetime thing, and obviously when you serve your time, you get out, you're trying to be a restored citizen and you want a chance to just live a regular life. And I'm pretty sure he probably went to his probation officer and the guy was like, scoffed at him and hey, you don't belong or not belong, but it's a privilege to go to the Heisman ceremony. But after a while, he probably realized like, hey, man, we probably kept him away from a special moment, and now he gets a chance to go do that. So I get it. I've come out the system and tried to rebuild my life and ran into hurdles when you first try to integrate yourself back into society with the do's and don'ts of what you can do. But Travis is making life changing money, and typically, sometimes you do some silly shit when you don't have resources, what his father probably did. And now, the son's taken care of. And then now, he can go ahead and enjoy that moment and move on with his life. So I was happy to hear that once he got that story. And hopefully his pops, can support him and Travis can find a role within what he's doing to assist his father. So, that's my take on it.
Yeah, Mo, have you been on probation before, Mo?
Yeah, for like 7 years.
Yeah, so this came down to a dollar amount. This ain't about no character. You wanna go see your son? You wanna go see your son for real? You know, I so happen to saw a Rolex I like, if you're serious about going. And I love what Travis Hunter is doing. I'll be joking around, but when it come to that parole, that's a paycheck, man. That's a paycheck. You gotta pay to move around, man. And
Yeah,
I'm
you definitely got to
sure,
pay to move around.
yeah, and I'm quite sure it definitely was a nice little check, because they ain't just letting that happen. Because they want to make you feel like, you know, this is why you do right, so you're not in this position where you're missing out on great moments. And
Yeah,
and
correct.
when and especially if you got somebody that's rude and somebody that don't care about nothing. I'm not here for football. I'm here to correct you. Somebody with that kind of temperament, he had to bust a check. Definitely got to cut a check if you going to the draft. You want to go or not? The date is getting close. I told you there's a Rolex I like, and this type of stuff happens all the time. But I'm not saying it did happen. But I know he ain't moving for free.
Yeah, basically, I just think it's great. I'm happy they let him go, man. Like I said, Mo said they didn't let him go. To I forget what was it that he went
Heisman.
to? Yeah, to the Heisman. I apologize for that. He didn't go to Heisman, so at least they let him go, and they pick and choose what you could go to. I know people who's missed not on parole, but in jail who missed their parents' funeral
Yeah.
or couldn't go to somebody. Well, it's a lot of stuff they won't let. It's not everything they'll let you go to. That's a little different from still being incarcerated. But I'm happy that they let him go. It's a good experience.
Okay. More details have emerged with this whole ESPN conversation. We will discuss after the break.
She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. My stubborn in me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about it, wanna be free.
Welcome back. So tonight, the Lakers will play the Timberwolves. Underdog has Luka at 30.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
This is Luka. This is the reigning playoff all-time leading scorer. He's going to pass Michael Jordan.
Not the all-time leading playoff scorer, mate. What you talking about, man?
I said he's going to pass Michael Jordan. He's going to pass Michael
He
Jordan.
he got a long way to go, but he's the second behind Michael Jordan in playoff points average. That's a fact. That nigga, Luka is nice, man. I'm agreeing with Mace on this 100%. He's going to go higher. The question is, will the Lakers win the game? And the way they played last game, it looked like they got themselves back in this series. I'm excited to see the game. I'm going higher with Mace, 30 points.
That part for sure. LeBron James is at 22.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
Got to be higher, man. If they want to win, it got to be higher. He's been going around that for this since Luka's been there. He's around 22, 23 points a night. I like this for LeBron, but he's going to have to be higher if they want to win. Going higher.
Yeah, I'm definitely going higher. King James, Kevin Gates showing up at the games and all that. He got more than 22. Definitely, I get more than 20. Shout out to Kevin Gates. Shout out to the James family. I'm going higher.
That's a hilarious take. Shout out Kevin Gates and Brittany Renner. So Anthony Edwards is at 7.5 first quarter points. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
How many? 8?
7.5 first quarter points. So yeah.
Higher. This is a must-win game. This is no plan. They say the team that normally wins the game after 1-1, 70% of the time wins the series. So I'm going higher. He got to show up. He got to go crazy. He's an Ant-Man.
Yeah, I think the Ant-Man's going to have a high-scoring game, but I don't think it's all going to come in the first quarter. They're going to throw a lot of double teams in, which they've been doing, and it's going to take the other players to heat up to where they can't cheat and double team Ant-Man. So I'm going to go lower than 7.5 first quarter points, but I think he'll have a tremendous game.
Beautiful. Make sure y'all download the Underdog app and you can make your picks too. So more and more things have been unfolding surrounding this Shannon Sharpe case where he was being accused of sexual assault. The victim is looking for $50 million. Basically, the problem was what's going to happen to Shannon Sharpe's role at ESPN. Well, now we know. Shannon took it upon himself to step down from ESPN. In a screenshot, he posted text that said, "At this juncture, I'm electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason." He also mentioned he appreciates the support from family and friends. Maurice, what do you think of this decision that he has made to step down?
Well, it wasn't his decision, pretty much he probably got a call from somebody And they said, nigga, let's go ahead and reel this back, right? And he went on his own accord and basically made the statement, because in business, and I always say this every time I talk, business doesn't like distractions and business doesn't like variables. And when they invested their money into Shannon Sharpe, they knew what he was. They knew how predictable he was. They knew all of the coonery that he would do with the wave cap and the fucking energy. You know what I mean? And they were cool with that. That's what they bought. You know what I'm saying? And you just can't have variables in business, and you can't be a distraction in business. And so when he wasn't giving them that, and he didn't become like the show that he was, that they picked him up from Fox, they said, hey, man, you have to sit on the sideline for a bit. But the fact that they didn't come out and they didn't slander him and they allow him to do this, they're hoping that some of this blows over, because they also do know that their engine at ESPN helped them to build a internet show. So you don't want to put your money into an asset, allow the asset to piggyback off of you, create another asset, and then as you walk away, they can go ahead and still build that other asset on the side without you participating. So what they're going to do is they're going to put more controls. They're going to put another contract in place and bring him back in the fold. But they're hoping that so much information comes out so fast and that you'll be so excited about football season and that you've never seen him, that you'll let him come back into the picture without harming him. But I tell you this, and believe me when I say this, I don't know what the day is today. They're going to say, hey, nigga, just like Deshaun Watson did, you got to go ahead and settle her. And he'll have to swallow the pill that was an expensive fuck. And that's it.
Wow, that's interesting, Mo. I don't really have much to say about this, because when somebody steps down, I think that says a lot. But I also think Disney is becoming BET, man. Disney is becoming BET. You really can't say, and I'm gonna call Disney out on this, because you really can't say you're for the children and then do something like this. Wherever you stand, you gotta stand. This is not just about Shannon. Take Shannon out of this. You can't really say you're about kids and then support things that go against the kids. So I'm gonna hold people to the fire just like they will hold me to the fire. People said, Mase, watch what you're saying. I'm not gonna watch what I'm saying, because I know if it was me, you would hold me to the same thing I'm holding you to right now. If you're gonna say you're Disney, if you're gonna say you're Walt Disney, if you're gonna say you're about the children, then you definitely gotta stand for women. I saw them stand for the other young ladies. Come on now. You gotta stand where you stand. And if you don't stand there, I would love to hear Malika Andrews on this, like she talks about so many other things. You know, it's just a lot of things right here that is really gonna show people's real color. Not that Malika Andrews is faking anyway. She does a good job, but here goes something to talk about. Here goes something to speak your mind about. Here goes something Walt Disney for you to talk about. Here goes something for you to stand on, because you can't keep allowing all this stuff to happen around Walt Disney and then act like this is a family-friendly thing. Can't do it.
Yo, this wasn't Shannon's idea to step down. Shannon stepped down because he got caught slipping, saying the wrong shit, and he's part of ESPN, which is a part of Disney. This was not his choice. This is like I was saying earlier, this isn't that we live in a country you're guilty till proven innocent, not innocent till proven guilty. And right now, Shannon looked guilty. So ESPN is saying, look, we can't have this with our brand. We don't want to say you guilty. So we're telling you, instead of we saying you got to go, we're giving you the benefit of the doubt to say you want to go. Because we don't know if this is true, false, or indifferent, but we're not going to embarrass you and say you're fired. Shannon said he plans on coming back the start of the football season. That may be what he planning. That may not be what ESPN is planning. That's your plan, Shannon. Let this shit start going left and more shit coming out. You're not going to be back. That's just that. That's your plan. And if you want to be with the family, you should have been with the family. You niggas always throw that statement out there. I'm going to spend this time to devote to my family and da-da-da-da-da. Yo, listen, man, I dig all that. I like when niggas make a genuine speech. like he made the other day. It may not have been the best thing to say, but you could tell it was Shannon. This sounded like a publicist, some shit. Devote time to my family, etc. I don't know if he gonna be back. I think that they gonna see how this shit go, but even if it go good and he wins, it may just be too much slimy shit that surface. And niggas might have been moving crazy wacky, and they might be like, look, we good, Shannon. We know you beat the case, but you gonna have to go somewhere else with your services. That's just my opinion on that. He plans on coming back. I don't know if ESPN plans on having him back.
Yeah, I don't like this. I'm gonna just say the truth. I don't like this. I like the culture where when Mase does something wrong, the whole world holds me accountable. So I'm just going with the same irony that everybody used with me. You know, they think, oh, ain't you a preacher? Ain't you this? And then people hold you to that. I'm all for that. But when the tables turn, I'm holding everybody to the same thing they will hold me to, bro. If you're gonna say this is about Disney have to make an example. You have to. It's no, because you're sending the wrong message. You're sending a message that, and not, I'm not going hard on this pause because of Shannon. It's just, this is a family friendly channel. This is something that's supposed to be for little kids. You don't even get to be in these situations and be a part of Disney. So I wanna be very loud about this. Very loud. Like, if you're gonna say this is about Disney and this is about clients or employees, Disney, you got to do better. You got to do better. Or people should not devote their children or allow their children to watch that channel because it's not about what they said it's worth. And I
I
want
mean,
to pay attention.
let me respond to that. So, when Disney threw everything out the door, and this isn't any slanderous thing. The bottom line is the bottom line with Disney. Disney has been a failing brand. That's why they brought the old CEO Bob Iger back into the fold, because they said, man, this shit's starting to go south. The shareholders getting mad, shares getting fucked up, the money getting fucked up. Let's bring back our old CEO who brought us to prominence. When they took Pat McAfee and they said, man, you can be the ultimate white guy. You can cuss, you can talk shit, you can do everything. That's when they kind of bent like the moral efficacy of the entire brand. You know what I'm saying? So then when you bring a Shannon Sharpe in, you like, man, look, we can't have niggas stealing our market share. So the reason that they even left the door open and said, you go ahead and come back on your own terms, that's saying, man, let me see if this podcast and shit that you do still have momentum. And then we'll make an excuse because we don't want to put these dollars behind you to then for you to take our fans and go move them on. So I was going to ask you when you was
It's a
talking the
good
first
point.
time,
I like that.
do
Good
the
point.
do the same rules apply once you start producing certain money? And I be saying this all the time, like rules apply. The rules you function up under is determined by the relationships you have and the money you got. And I think that Shannon has pushed himself in a space above like the normal internet crowd that they like, okay, let's see if this nigga gonna sink, swim, or whatever he gonna do, but they still left the door open. But I just don't think certain rules apply once you start producing certain money. That's my opinion. And I just want to know your thought on that.
My opinion.
Yeah.
Well, I told you where I stand. I think when the ethics and the morality of things that's supposed to be morale, right? So there's certain things I don't expect morality from. There's certain things I don't expect ethics from. But when you supposed to be something that's very child friendly and very family friendly, then I do expect that from there. Does that make sense? And when you
It makes
start
perfect sense.
veering away from that, you're not only breaking that code, you're breaking generations of business, and you're also sending a wrong message to the next generation. Like me, I'm a person that I'm completely flawed. I have things that I still have to work on. I have things that I'm still working through. But I never been the truth for myself. I don't bend the truth for myself, and I don't bend it for other people. So people begin to understand that about me. I'm not just speaking loud because I got it all together. I'm speaking the truth because it's the truth, and whatever is the truth should be the truth no matter where you are or who you're talking to. When it comes to these kind of situations, This is why society, in a sense, find itself so dark, because we send the wrong messages when we don't correct stuff like this. And then when we see some other young kids doing the same thing, we like, look at them, they're crazy. But they've seen all of the people before them get away with whatever they got away with because they had money. So now people think I could be messed up. I just need a lot of money. And that's just the wrong message to be sending. And that's
So
it's not at Shannon, it's at that whole concept. That whole concept of we let niggas rape girls, we let niggas rape boys, we let niggas do whatever because they got money. That's not right, bro. That's not right. And you can't say you stand for that and you letting that happen because this person bring you more views.
no, we're saying the same thing. I was just making a point as you were talking that I feel the same way about society. It's just, I call it just, sometimes I don't have the vocabulary for shit, but I'd be like, it's a lot of bitch ass niggas who just end up being popular, right? And that's not directed at anybody in particular, but we all know. And I just come from an era where, y'all was older than me and just the way men move was different. You know what I'm saying? And I almost said I felt like it was weird and corny, but I didn't send it. I just was like, I'm happy I'm on a show that ain't really bitch ass niggas on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy I'm rolling with niggas who still operate a certain way. And I'm not under umbrella of like people who act weird and different. You know what I'm saying? So I clearly get what you're saying. I clearly get and understand and agree that, sometimes you get money, niggas bend rules, and we just look at dudes different. So I don't know, I said a whole lot, but you get what I'm saying. We're on the same page.
What I'm gonna say is I agree with both of you fellas, 100%. But and how makes this definitely so passionate because it's personal. But this ain't personal to ESPN. That's the thing. I understand your morals, my morals, Mo morals, all of our morals, the niggas we be around. This is not a moral situation for them. This is let's see if Shannon Sharpe pop off on the internet, and if his shit pop off on the internet, we'll bring him back. Forget that the girl wanted a big black baby. Forget she got anally raped. Forget whatever else. This is about our bottom line. And if it's affecting our bottom line, then we are going to bring him back as long as it don't get nasty. Now, if he want to give her $2 million, et cetera, and it didn't look too crazy, let's bring him back. If we find out some more shit that the nigga did this, that, and the third, beat up, she's not coming back. He's not coming back. Our morals have nothing to do with what ESPN is thinking, and this is why a lot of times niggas like me is not ever going to be in corporate America or shit like this because I'm too opinionated. I'm too cam. I don't even know what the word I am, nigga. I'm too much of this to where I'm not going to say who, but somebody told me I can't be in every room being me. Then I said I don't want to be in every room. It's just not going to happen if you want, because certain niggas want to be in every room. I don't need to be in every room. If niggas is moving like this, I don't want to be in that room. So our morals at ESPN business is two totally separate things.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with you, Killer. If Disney wasn't a place that say they for kids or have a worldwide appeal to little kids, everything you said will be
I'm not disagreeing with you. And I'm thinking that you 100% bringing light to the point. This is Disney, this Mickey Mouse, this Daffy. You're bringing light to the point. But I'm saying from how they move in now, that's what it seemed like. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just telling you, you're 100% right. But the way they move it, it's like whatever, how we would think, in my opinion.
I really agree. I agree 100% with you. What you're saying is accurate. I'm just holding their feet to the fire like they would do us as black men. Like you're saying, this is about what it's about. If I work for Nike and I start running Adidas sneakers through the Nike truck, they should take the Nike truck because I'm not using it for what it's for. Your bottom line can be your bottom line, but we gotta call spade and a ace a ace, and this right here is clown behavior. If you're gonna say it's about what it's about, then your bottom line is not just what you have to worry about. You have to worry about your brain, because without your brain, you won't have a bottom line. And that's
Yeah,
what it's beginning to turn into. Kids are getting snatched out of, there's been rumors of kids getting snatched out of Disney. Now you got all of this. It's like, whatever. I mean, whatever. It's their business. It ain't mine.
no, you're right. I think you're 100% right.
I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm just going to keep it very, very, very short. I think that this is one of those situations that's going to set the precedent for future situations, because usually with sports reporters, media people, athletes turning into the media, their business isn't as out there as we've been seeing. We have not known about these people's personal lives to this extent. And I feel like we've been seeing that with a lot of people, whether you want to bring up Joy Taylor, whether you want to bring up Skip Bayless, now Shannon Sharpe. There's been a lot of people taking a lot of heat for different things that are still being investigated. And yes, Shannon Sharpe has his brand, but he's still representing another brand, which is Disney. Kind of back to what we were saying about the Tennessee quarterback. Some things are just not bigger than the brand. It's not bigger than the team. Disney doesn't have a Disney After Dark. Cartoon Network had an Adult Swim. Nickelodeon had Nick at Night. That's not the type of conversations that should be brought up for Disney. So it's a completely different scenario that you're dealing with. And I think what it also comes down to, because obviously the case still has to happen. We don't know what the outcome is going to be. A lot of people just point blank period are not comfortable with seeing somebody like Shannon Sharpe messing with a 19-year-old girl, because he did admit that it was a consensual relationship, which is fine. At that point, she is over age. But when people hear 19, they hear the teen, doesn't sit well with a lot of people. So I think it's going to be really hard for people to kind of move past this because of where it's gotten to.
Last thing I'll say real quick, just so y'all get where I'm coming from, because I totally agree with you and Mase and Mo. But the last thing I want to say is this. The reason why I say it's they bottom line, and like I said, I don't agree with it, is because they fired niggas for less faster than this. Paul Pierce was on a fucking live with some girls. He got fired the next day. Michael Irvin was doing some shit where there's no audio. He got fired the next day. Matt Barnes got some court case. The court case wasn't even done. They didn't bring him back. When you doing this means that they think more of Shannon Sharpe than people with this same situation that they fired for less. And that's why I said that it's to them, their bottom line, and Mase is right. You got to call a spade a spade. If you're going to do this for everybody else, do it for this nigga too. But what I'm saying is the way they moving is they're not doing it like they did everybody else. And is it right? No, it's not right. 100%. But you got to look at their maneuvers. It's like, yo, okay, cool. I'm going to shoot this nigga in the head. I'm going to shoot this nigga in the head. I'm going to shoot this nigga in the head. I'm going to give this nigga a pass, B, even though he violated. That's what it seemed like them niggas is doing, my personal opinion.
Yeah. A lot to unpack. The story's going to continue to unfold, and I'm sure we'll have more conversations surrounding as we find out more. But y'all, that is all the time that we have for today. Maurice, always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Okay.
Good seeing everybody, man. See y'all Monday.
See y'all Monday.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. Two Big Macs, like when they doing them 2 for $5.